Evening citizens, welcome to the channel. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the beautiful nation of New Zealand, but we're looking beyond the stunning landscapes. We're going to explore a dramatic economic and social shift that reshaped the country from the 1980s onwards, the move from a social democracy to a more neoliberal model. What did that mean for the everyday Kiwi, and what are the lasting effects we can still see today? For much of the 20th century, New Zealand was known as a cradle-to-grave welfare state. It was a place with a strong social safety net, high levels of union membership, and significant government involvement in the economy. Think state-owned enterprises for things like railways, telecommunications, and electricity. The government played a huge role in ensuring a certain standard of living for its citizens. This system, often called social democracy, aimed to balance a market economy with social equality and robust public services. It was a model that, for a long time, many New Zealanders were very proud of. Then came the 1980s. New Zealand's fourth Labour Party was elected. Labour by name but not by nature. Hijacked by Roger Douglas and Richard Prebble, they turned away from their traditional voter base and social democracy and embraced a neoliberal ideology. Led by figures like Finance Minister Roger Douglas, they unleashed a wave of radical free market reforms that became known as Reaganomics. This was a full-throttle embrace of neoliberal ideas. The core belief was that the free market, with minimal government interference, was the most efficient way to run an economy and create wealth. So, what did this actually look like in practice? It was a massive overhaul. The government began privatizing state-owned assets, selling off companies that had been in public hands for decades. They deregulated financial markets, removed subsidies for farmers, and drastically cut trade tariffs, opening New Zealand up to global competition like never before. The tax system was flattened, with top income tax rates slashed, while a new consumption tax, the GST, was introduced. The idea was to create a more dynamic, competitive, and efficient economy. The supporters of these reforms argued they were absolutely necessary. They believed the old system had become sluggish and inefficient, and that this shock therapy was needed to modernize New Zealand and make it globally competitive. A new generation of entrepreneurs emerged, and the country's businesses were forced to innovate to survive on the world stage. Proponents point to a more dynamic and less regulated economy as a major long-term benefit. However, this transformation came at a significant social cost, and this is where the story gets complicated. The rapid changes led to a sharp rise in unemployment as protected industries suddenly faced international competition and state-owned enterprises downsized after privatization. For many workers and their communities, the transition was brutal. The once powerful unions saw their influence decline dramatically, and job security became a thing of the past for many. Perhaps the most profound and lasting impact was on inequality. As the welfare state was rolled back and the market was given free rein, the gap between the rich and the poor began to widen significantly. Wealth became more concentrated at the top, while child poverty and housing unaffordability grew into major national issues that New Zealand is still grappling with today. The social cohesion that had once defined the country felt, to many, like it was starting to fray. The promise that a rising tide would lift all boats didn't quite materialize as expected for everyone. So, the legacy of this shift is complex and deeply debated in New Zealand to this day. It's a story of economic theory meeting reality, a tale of modernization and efficiency on one hand, and social dislocation and rising inequality on the other. It fundamentally reshaped what it means to be a New Zealander and the role of government in daily life. What do you think? Was this painful transition a necessary price for progress, or did the country lose something invaluable along the way? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this deep dive interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. See you in the next video.